The score after one period here in Buffalo is the Islanders 1, the Sabres nothing. Shots on goal by Buffalo 13, by the New York Islanders 8. The only goal coming on a power play. Chris Langevin was penalized for holding at 14:53. The Islanders' Stefan Persson scores from Gilbert and Kaller, and the Islanders lead the hockey game 1-0. Big break for the Islanders. Buffalo had a two-man advantage for a minute and 13 seconds. They passed the puck around, got a couple of shots at Kelly Hrudey. He handled them well, and really the Sabre power play produced very little.
Almost nothing. Well, it did produce exactly what it produced, Jigs, is nothing. But Hrudey played a couple of good shots. I thought that for a youngster being thrown in these circumstances, he's got to test them. He's going to be tested. He's got to prove himself. Obviously, that's what the Islanders want to see, and I thought he did a pretty good job in the first period. Well, not all of the shots that he took were that tough, but a couple of close-in ones. Kluche, one in particular, he stood right in there. He's a stand-up goaltender. He has that style, but he's got a tremendous hand. He's very quick with his hands and also his feet, and he seems to get out of the net and handle the puck pretty good, but time will tell as we go along just to see how he handles the NHL action versus, of course, the Central Hockey League that he starred in for 2 years.
Far too early to tell after having seen him in a period here tonight, a period, or a portion of a period at least, in the overtime in Washington a week ago. But the Islanders with three goaltenders leads to a lot of speculation as to whether they can play the entire season with three. Do you have any thoughts on it?
I would have to think that they're not going to. I think that the test is going to come, obviously, in the first half of the schedule before they decide what they may and what their options are as to what they're going to do. They have never done that before, and I don't see that they would do it again. Of course, that's speculation on my part, but you think back, they wouldn't keep when they had Glenn Resch and Billy Smith, and of course Roland Melanson was coming into the system then, and away went Resch, and now you see a situation somewhat close to that. As to who it might be, you don't know. It depends on what the Islanders are looking for as to what they might give up, but I don't see them carrying three goaltenders all season.
Gives us and the fans an opportunity to play the role of general manager. Eddie Westfall will be back to talk with Billy Carroll in just a moment. Our score in Buffalo, the Islanders 1, the Sabres nothing.
11:30:83.
Right.
We're back at the Buffalo Auditorium. The Islanders lead on a power play goal by Stefan Persson, 1-0. My guest at this time between the periods, Billy Carroll. Now, Billy, a lot of people, I have to get right to the point. We'll talk about the first period and something else after, but I have to get to this point because I'm asked it by so many people. Are the Islanders really going to sleep through this season and then turn it on in the playoffs? Is that the strategy?
No, that's not our strategy at all, Eddie. You know, we didn't plan that last year either, but you know, right now we have a lot of injuries, and Al's using a lot of different combinations, but we're trying as hard as we can. And
I was going to ask you that. I mean, you have a lot of injuries. You ask anybody on the team, yes, we're having injuries and so on. But that doesn't, injuries don't, they don't make excuses for players that are on the ice now not doing what we're used to seeing them do.
No, not at all. They don't make excuses, but like I said, you know, we're trying as hard as we can, and a lot of times it doesn't look that way, or the fans don't think that's the truth. But like I said, we want to win every game this year we can and finish as high in the standings as possible.
Going back to training camp, Billy, the team goes through a training camp, and was it a rigorous camp? Was it kind of a loose skate type practice training, or was it a very serious one?
Well, we had a lot of players here that were fighting for jobs that were on the team last year.
Who were they?
Myself, the very first one, but we had a lot of guys from Indianapolis who played really well, and you know, we all are aware that players are going to be coming here in February from the Olympics and possibly from Indianapolis, and that's why I don't think anybody will be coasting this year, because we all want to play come February.
That would make me then ask you, who impressed you at training camp that is not with the team right now?
Well, obviously on defense they had the two players, Paul Boudelier and Gordy Dineen, who played very well, and up front, the guys that all stuck around, Monty Trache and Dave Simpson played well, and then the guys, a lot of the guys, Scotty Housen played very well, I thought, and Garth McGuigan early in camp. And
you have a defenseman here now in Darcy Regier that must have impressed them, or he wouldn't be here now.
Yeah, Darcy played very well, and he's back again very early, which is very good for Darcy.
I should remind everybody, of course, Billy Carroll is here talking with us rather than playing because he was hurt at training camp and has a very bad groin pull that I understand is not just a groin pull. That's what we were told, but it has to be more than that.
Well, yeah, it's moved into the hip and the outside of the leg a lot, which the doctors say is from compensating for the groin and make the other areas worse. So the best thing for me is to get it better now.
What do you do? What do you just sit around, watch hockey games, and visit with people? Now, what can you do for yourself, Billy Carroll?
I've been going to therapy at a gym, Steve Worth, one of the physiotherapists, for 3 days a week, and the other 3 days I'm working with Ron Waske of the training staff here. And 6 days a week, there's not much.
Boring, huh?
To do. Very boring.
Now let's get to something more current. Right now, the Islanders 1-0. They're leading in a hockey game. It could be either way. What are some of the things that you would spot sitting watching the game, like all of us, in the first period? Say that you enjoyed or you like to see, and then some of the things maybe you find that are not happening right for the Islanders. Let's go to the positive side first.
Well, I thought we forechecked a lot better than we did last night tonight, and maybe that's because of the small rink or whatever, but especially that one line with Tonelli and Nystrom and Wayne Merrick are playing very well, and Kelly Hrudey's playing very well.
The system that the Islanders use, you see where there's a few cracks in it? Buffalo obviously had some good opportunities because Hrudey was making some pretty good saves. Where did the team break down?
We seem to be getting caught a couple of times tonight. 3-on-3s breaking down and 3-on-2s, which we don't like to do at all, but they're getting the good slot shots, which we have to start taking away. We're going to be in trouble very early.
Billy, 3-on-2s and 2-on-1s and so on like that are the death of a hockey team. That's what we talk about up here while we're watching the game. What happens? Where is the breakdown for the team when that happens? Where does some of the players on the Islanders go wrong to create the 3-on-2?
Sometimes you may get caught in forechecking too deep, all three players, which Al, he doesn't like very much. But I think early in the season, a lot of the times it'll be 3-on-3, and then two players go to the same man, which leaves a 2-on-1 open on one defenseman. Even
after winning 4 Stanley Cups, is a team like the Islanders more apt to come into a hockey game like tonight and be pressured by the coach? I know they had a long meeting before the game. Would they be getting up so high that they're allowed to make mistakes because they are trying too hard?
Yeah, everybody's trying very hard, and we're all aware that management's not going to, let us slide the way we slid last year. And if they have to make changes, they're going to, and nobody really wants to leave this team.
You're the first guy that's ever said that, and I appreciate it. Now, the fact that the team is not going to sit still, I should say the management is not going to sit still, what does that say to you as a player? What are the options? For instance, if you were playing and things were not going well, like some of the Islanders, where does that leave you?
Well, in this game, as you know, you're always wondering about your job and where you're going to be tomorrow. But
I know, but everybody's got a fat contract, Billy, and making a lot of money, and it's for 5-6 years. So what do you really worry about that?
Oh yeah, I worry very much about that, and I think a lot of guys really worry about that a lot. And like I said, we're trying as hard as we can every night, and a lot of the times things just don't go that well, and there's nothing we can really do about it.
Billy, let's switch over just for a moment to the Buffalo Sabres. They've got a lot of young players, and obviously you know them because they're probably in the same age bracket as you are. Can you give us some of the thoughts on a player like even Langevin? Do you know Chris Langevin? I mean, his name is so close to one of the Islander players, but somebody that we're not familiar with.
No, a lot of these guys now, especially when we only play them 3 times a year, I think they have about 11 guys. I heard somebody say under 22, and they're all a lot younger than I am. So.
In other words, you haven't faced a guy like Langevin before, so you don't know really what he's like as a player.
No, I've never seen him until tonight. This first time, the same as Andrew Chuck and a lot of the other players.
There's a player on that team that you have played against, Housley, and what do you think of him?
Housley's a great player, and he's proven it tonight. He's skating very well again tonight.
What's his single greatest asset?
I'd have to say his skating would be his best asset. I don't know. I'd like to have it, whatever it was.
Thanks for being so frank, Billy Carroll. We'll hope to see you back in the lineup pretty soon so you can catch up and go by Bossy.
Not this again, Eddie.
Billy Carroll, our friend and the injured player for the New York Islanders, and we'll return to the Buffalo Auditorium right after this.
You have a... In today's world, it's comforting to know.
Yes, Billy Carroll will receive a razor, and from Fortunoff, the source, a Seiko quartz watch. See Seiko's winning combination of quartz accuracy and unique styling at Fortunoff, the source. Seiko, setting the standard for the world for the future. A reminder, if you and your group would like to see the New York Islanders in action at the Nassau Coliseum, call the group sales department at area code 516-794-4100. Call that number, ask for group sales. You and your group can be on hand this season to see the Stanley Cup champions at home. Well, the Islanders are leading 1-0 on Stefan Persson's goal, coming at 15:32. As you see, that was a power play goal for the New York Islanders. Their 5th power play goal in 22 opportunities.
Last night, Philadelphia, of course, did in the Islanders 5-1. They play the Rangers tonight in the first period score. Philadelphia's Thomas Eriksson has scored, and the Rangers trail Philadelphia by 1-0. End of the first period. Score is still the same. Quebec leading Washington in Washington 2-0.
A year ago, the Buffalo Sabres finished with 89 points, third place in the Adams division. They eliminated the Montreal Canadiens and then went 7 games with the Boston Bruins into overtime in Game 7 and were eliminated. And of course, the Islanders went on to eliminate Boston and Edmonton in that order on their way to the Stanley Cup. Kelly Hrudey, the outstanding goaltender of the Central Hockey League, playing in Indianapolis the last couple of years. He came into tonight's game with a 3.23 goals against average. Faced 13 shots in the first period of this game. Several Islander fans, many of them who are students in this area, Buffalo State and other colleges on hand for the game tonight. Group drove up from Ithaca as well to see the Islanders. Mike Keenan and Seth Fenton taking in the game. Questions on that banner: who's going to win the cup?
First of all, we should mention that number 30, Tom Barrasso, a Boston native, Buffalo's first pick this past June. He was the gentleman we were talking about that left the Olympic team back in August to join the Sabres at training camp. They were training in Lake Placid. Has done well for himself. He loves to roam, I understand. He's a big guy, too. He's 6'3", 195 pounds, and he can shoot the puck pretty good, I understand, also. My little scouting report.
Uh-huh.
Bucky Kane, you know, the great Bucky Kane, assistant general manager here in Buffalo, is originally a Boston boy, taught in the Boston school systems, and I have to know that he scouted and brought Barrasso here.
A year ago, Barrasso was stopping pucks in the high school leagues around Boston. Here he is in the National Hockey League a year later. Second period is just underway. The Islanders up 1-0 as Craig Ramsey fed the puck to Perreault on right wing. Cuts inside. Lets one go. Hrudey makes the save and covers up on it. Didn't seem to see it, 18.
Not till the last second, Jiggs, but you know, we've talked about it before. The fact that being a good goaltender is not just the ability to move quickly and get the puck. It's to be in the right place at the right time. Watch Gilbert Perreault use his speed, agility, and power right there. Look where Hrudey is standing, or Hrudey, up on the top of the crease, challenging the shooter where he should be. And he put himself in the right spot. Gilbert Perreault bounced it off his chest.
Now the Sabres with McCourt at center ice. Luce on the right wing. Paul Cyr on the left side. It is Trottier with Bourne and Gillies for the Islanders, and the draw came back to Langevin. Around to Persson. Stefan Persson fed it ahead to Trottier, who carries it into center ice, then dumps it in over the Buffalo line. It hit Housley. Housley across to Cyr, into center to the Islander line, and his long shot is cleared aside by Hrudey, picked up by Langevin. Played it away from McCourt to Trottier, back to Langevin. Banks it off the boards into the Buffalo zone. It spins like a top, goes wide of the net. Craig Gilbert races in, but Height beats him to it, and that's icing against the Islanders. Well, the World Series history now is Baltimore defeats Philadelphia. That reminds us that WOR's Tim McCarver is a year older today.
That's right. You mentioned it to me earlier. Happy birthday to Tim McCarver. What a job he did for the fans in the New York area.
He's got the lines, hasn't he?
Oh.
And the knowledge, too.
Excellent. An entertainer. Mets broadcast. See, they've just signed a new manager, too.
Yeah, Davey Johnson, who used to toil with the Atlanta Braves. Worked in the Mets system the last couple of years and done very well in the minor league level. We wish him well. Potvin for the Islanders has fed it ahead to Trottier, and at center ice, he tests Sauvé with a long shot. Bob Sauvé left it for Housley around the boards, held in by Lane. Backhanded it to the corner for Clark Gillies. Gillies trying to get away from the checking of McCourt. Can't do it. Craig Gilbert picks up the loose puck. Left it at the line. Lane into Gillies. Out of the corner. Trottier chased it. Couldn't get there in time. There's Gilbert to Gillies. A backhand pass is cut off in front. Cleared by Height. Up comes Cyr over center ice. Cyr blasts one off Lane. Cyr with it again. Lane squeezes him into the boards, and Clark Gillies cleared it. Cyr right back to Height. Across to Housley. Off his stick, picked up by Gilbert, sends Trottier into the center ice area. Trotier's long shot off the blocking glove of Sauvé. Housley plays it around to Height. Bill Height's pass goes to Cloutier. He was turning and has to chase it back. Gave it to Height. Now to Sear. Sear's pass on the stick of Cloutier. He was poke checked by Bourne. Housley brings it into the Islander zone. Bill Housley centers one out in front. Langevin with a shot. He was knocked down by Persson. There's a penalty coming against the Islanders as Dwayne Sutter backhands it down the ice. We'll get a whistle and a face-off coming. And a break in the action as well. Our score, the Islanders 1, the Sabres nothing.
When his client told him, give me that package overnight or else, I told him use express mail next day service from the post office. Is it fast, he said? Overnight, I said. Reliable, he said. They deliver over 70,000 packages on time every day, I said. And a 2-pound package is $9.35, about half what most others charge. Yes? It's your client. He says he got it, and you're brilliant.
What would you do without me?
Express Mail Service. We make you look good for less.
Brent Sutter draws a penalty, a hooking penalty. Let's see where it comes. There it is right there. He got the stick. Seemed like a fairly harmless play, but he got enough of them. Pulled him down. There he is. 2 goals already this season. Brent Sutter. Ask him, he figures he should have 5.
The hooking penalty was called at 2:22 of this second period. The Islanders up 1-0. And they forced the Sabres to chase the puck. Bob Bourne and Anders Kaller up front. On defense, it is Potvin and Lane. Bourne just knocked the puck away from Hanu Verta. Kaller got it back to Bourne, to Kaller, twisting and turning at center ice, then drops it back in over the line for Lane. Gord Lane finds an opening. Verta knocked it down. Waits for his teammates to set up again. Long pass to Chris Langevin. Trying to come in around Potvin. Put on the brakes. Potvin bumps him into the boards. The puck went to the corner. Back to Langevin. And Kaller gets a stick on it. Clears it off Verta. And out to center ice. So the Sabres regroup again. Here's Perreault turning. Gilbert Perreault over the blue line. Couldn't get between Potvin and Lane. Andrechuk into forecheck. It's in Gord Lane's skates. Comes loose. Lane falls. The puck is underneath him. 61 seconds left in the penalty to Brent Sutter.
Gordy Lane smartly dropping down on the puck. He had 2 Buffalo Sabres trying to jar him away from it. Andrechuk, who's big and strong. Also Gilbert Perreault, who's very quick. Gord Lane wants to stop the play. Let his coach make a change. So far, Buffalo have had 2 shots here in the second period. The Islanders have had 1.
Brian Trottier has come out with Butch Goring, Dave Langevin, and Stephen Persson in defense. Perreault, Cloutier, and Andrechuk for Buffalo, and there's McCourt.
His brother is going to drop the puck.
Dale McCourt and Phil Housley are on the points, in theory, for Buffalo. Andrechuk back of the goal, trying to get it to Cloutier. Now to Andrechuk, checked by Brian Trottier. Andrechuk recovers his balance, has the puck as well. Into the corner to Cloutier. Cloutier to Andrechuk. Centered one out in front, and Trottier stepped in front of Perreault neatly.
Smart play by Brian Trottier, Jakes. He moved back in deep. He could see the play building. He anticipated perfectly. Intercepted the Buffalo pass. Shot it down the ice.
Now they have 30 seconds remaining in their power play as the Sabres come over center ice. Dale McCourt gave it to Cloutier. To McCourt. Goes in round behind the net. Takes a look. Fed it to Housley at the blue line. His shot went off Goring's stick, and there's Gilbert dumping it down the ice. The Sabres send 3 men in on this power play, leaving Housley all alone at the blue line, 18.
A little bit of a gamble, particularly if they do not have good possession of the puck, which they didn't have. Gilbert broke up the pass, sent the puck into center ice. Goring had a good opportunity, as Bourne has here.
And he comes over the line, is hooked from behind. The puck went loose, and Brent Sutter, who had just come out of the penalty box, cleared it wide. Sutter with it again, trying to center. It's cut off by McCourt, and there's no further play. Perreault will go to the penalty box. We'll go to a break. 15:28 left in the period with the score. The Islanders 1, the Sabres nothing.
Michelob Light for the winners this time, huh?
Oh, you enjoy being buried in the sand.
Would good friends really play this hard for a beer? Well, it is Michelob Light, the rich, smooth taste you can compare to any beer you like.
Michelob Light for the winner.
The sea, the sun, the sand.
The check.
The check.
Penalty to Gilbert Perreault. Let's take a look at the penalty. Perreault, desperation. He knows the speed of Bob Bourne, and Bourne starts through across the blue line. Perreault picked him up from behind with the stick, pulled him down, gets the penalty, so the Islanders get another chance.
Potvin out on the left point, McEwen on the right. Kaller, Trottier, and Gillies are the forwards for the Islanders. Kaller just gave it to Trottier, who sneaks back in the net. Look for Gillies out in front. His shot turned aside by Sauvé. So the Islanders will cover up in their own territory. Into forecheck comes Craig Ramsey as McEwen parked back in the net. Michael McEwen over to Denny Potvin. Up to center ice, the pass to Trottier. Works in around Bill Height. Trottier goes back in the net with it again to the blue line to McEwen. Winds up, he shoots through a screen. It was knocked down. A loose puck. Trottier shoots. Oh, and Sauvé just got a piece of it. Trottier held on to it. Sauvé was down and got the stick up to rob Brian Trottier.
I suppose you could say the teams are even now. Potvin did it in the first period to young Phil Housley.
And Sauvé just snuck the catching glove out to grab Kaller's shot there. A pile-up, and we'll get a face-off to the left of the Buffalo goal.
Let's take another look at this play. Sauvé, what a play he makes in desperation. There's a good shot from the point by Michael McEwen. Watch here. There's Trottier. 9 times out of 10, that puck's going in, but not that time. Look at Sauvé look around. He dove in desperation, stuck his stick out. Watch the stick now as it goes out to his right. There's the shot right off the stick. Trottier may have let up just a little bit, knowing he had Sauvé, the Buffalo goaltender, at his mercy. And Sauvé dove in desperation and got enough of it to deflect the puck over the net.
My, oh, my. Well, as they say, you bear down and bury it. But not that time. And here come the Sabres. Peterson into the Islander zone. Potvin caught up with him. Potvin entangled with Peterson. Fans yelling about that. Persson has the puck. Played it across to Potvin. 50 seconds remaining in this power play for the New York Islanders. Potvin banked it off the boards. It'll go wide of the net. Picked up by Merrick, the first man in, to the blue line to Potvin. Now to Tonelli, unable to set up Merrick, who had gone to the slot, and the puck comes up the right side. Craig Ramsey clears it down into the Islander zone.
The two Ramseys teamed up, Jigs. Mike Ramsey, number 5, a good play to steal the puck. Then he gave it to Craig Ramsey, and he knows what to do with it.
And Rick Sealing has just forced the Islanders to go back into their own territory. 20 seconds remaining in the penalty to Perreault. Here is Potvin. Now to Nystrom. Into center ice. The pass on Merrick's stick. Trying to get in and around the young defenseman Weimer. Weimer is checked. Tonelli takes over. To the point for Persson. Across to Potvin. Potvin centers. Tonelli shot flagged out of the air by Sauvé, and another dazzling save. And McCourt clears it, not out. Games are at 6 aside. Potvin trying to set up. Nystrom couldn't do it, and the Sabres have shot it down the boards into the Islanders zone and will be called for having iced the puck. 13-15 remaining in the second period.
A nice hand here for Sauvé. Look at the save he makes right here. There's the shot by John Tonelli. In one motion, Tonelli gets away a blistering drive. Sauvé equal to the task. He gets a piece of it with his catching mitt. See his hand, it's tingling now. Tonelli ripped a high shot that Sauvé, as he was sliding from his right to left, got a piece of. We've seen Tonelli put many of those kinds of shots into the net.
Now Brent Sutters. Between Wayne Sutter and Bob Bourne, Langevin and McEwen on defense. Bourne got it back to Langevin. A shot went wide. Rolls onto the mesh at the back of the net, and there's no further play. They'll get a face-off deep in the Buffalo zone. Did you see where there were 2 penalty shots in the game at Toronto last night?
1 successful, 1 not. 2 in 1 game. The penalty shot is alive, particularly this year in the early going.
The Blackhawks. Tony Esposito, the goaltender, threw his stick. 3 seconds to play. The Leafs were successful on that penalty shot, winning the game 10-8. Where's the goaltending gone?
goaltending. Where's the whole defensive structure?
Yes.
We've had Vancouver and Minnesota in a 10-9 game. The Islanders in an 8-7 game. A win in overtime.
Now the puck deep in the Islanders zone, as you see. Langevin and Andrechuk bump together. McKenna knocks it loose, but there's Brent Sutter. Check back of the goal, gets sandwiched. The puck comes to the side of the net. McEwen couldn't handle it. Here's Andrechuk. Put one out in front. Brent Sutter is there to clear it ahead for Dwayne Sutter. Comes over center ice. Trying to cut in around Weimer. A long shot was wide of the target. Comes back along the left wing boards. Brent Sutter put it into the corner for Dwayne. Out to Bourne to the blue line. Here's McEwen winding up. He shoots. Good pad stop by Sauvé. Brent Sutter's drive hit Playfair, and the Sabres break out. McKenna comes to center ice. Goes to the left side to Playfair. Long shot. That's wide of the net. Picked up on right wing. McKenna played it in off Chris Langevin. It bounces to Andrechuk, who's shot flying, and a hit from Brent Sutter. Andrechuk picks up the puck. Brent Sutter turns him around again. Loose puck on the far side. The two Sutter brothers collided. The fans react to that as the puck sprung loose for Lamel. Gilles Lamel cut to the left side, centered one in front that was cleared wide as McKenna is crushed on the boards by Langevin. McKenna trying to put it out in front. That shot wide by McEwen, who was covering up, and here's Bourne. Bob Bourne, rink wide off Dwayne Sutter's stick. He takes another whack at it. There's it in over the Buffalo line. Teams changing on the fly here as Housley comes over center ice. Into the Islanders zone, slowed up, and McEwen picked up the puck and threaded the needle down into the Buffalo territory. Just over 11 minutes remaining in the second period. The Islanders lead on Stefan Persson's goal, 1-0. Bowler was checked. McEwen for the Islanders into the Buffalo zone. McEwen around Housley, is shot right on. Sauvé the save, and he covers up and holds on. We get a break in the action here at Buffalo. The score, the Islanders 1, the Sabres 0.
Announcing the new power and compact trucks. Nissan for 84, the most powerful standard engine in its class, the biggest payload, the highest minimum ground clearance, the one and only King Cab. Nissan technology builds major motion.
Come alive, come and drive. Major motion. Nissan.
At your Datsun dealer.
One of the better flurries by Buffalo, Jake. Some pretty good forechecking, some body checking. Something that we haven't seen a great deal of, particularly by the Buffalo forwards in this hockey game. Tempo of the game picking up just a little bit.
Now Verda with the puck tries the left side with a pass to Craig Ramsey. Out to Peterson. Sealing moves over center ice. Long shot. Grabbed by Kelly Hrudey and picked up by Lane. Buffalo out shooting the Islanders 16-15. Here's Sealing moving it off the right side. Centered one, but it went behind Craig Ramsey. Cleared but not out. Mike Ramsey works it back of the Islander goal. Peterson and Persson bump together. Puck sprung loose. Gord Lane takes it round behind the net. Craig Ramsey forechecking, forcing Lane to turn. Now to Persson. To Clark Gillies. Gillies comes to the Buffalo line. Santrache in on left wing. He shoots. Hit the post. Hit the post to the left of Sauvé, and it's picked up by Craig Ramsey. Ramsey with Kaller all over top of him. Gave it to Verda, and he just dumps it to center. There's Lane back on defense to Persson. Now to Trache. Trache unable to set up Nystrom on the left side. Sealing comes back in over the Islander line with a shot. Broke his stick. And Kelly Hrudey handles the puck with a pass up the left wing boards. Kaller dumps it rink wide. Taken by Nystrom at center ice. Nystrom working in on the rookie Weimer. Lost the puck. Craig Ramsey had it. Lost it. Recovered in time to clear it to center ice. Weimer moves to the Islander line. Merrick took him off the play there. So we watch the Sabres regrouping in their own zone. Weimer on the left side of the defense. Up to Muller. The Perreault comes over the line. Checked by Stefan Persson. Gordy Lane with 9.5 minutes to play in the second period. Unable to come out of the corner. Here's Nystrom. Long pass to Tonelli on the left side. Trying to cut through the defense. Couldn't handle the puck. Gilles Lamel starts back. Amel to Muller. Muller is over the line on the right side. Cranks up. Off the pads. Through the pads of Hrudey and out the other side. Stefan Persson gets tangled up. The stick caught in his skate. Persson is down. The puck beneath him. Bruce Hood is looking the other way as Persson tells him that he was tripped.
He was, Jakes. Accidental. Let's take a look, but sometimes accidental doesn't count. It's still a penalty. Here's the shot, a hard shot, right through the pads. Off the right pad, hit the skate, trickled through the legs of Kelly Hrudey. Close call. He thinks the puck is still in his feet, but the puck went shooting through. Gilles Hamel, a hard blast. Last year he spent part of the season in Buffalo with the Sabres here. Then he went down to the Rochester Americans and helped them win the Calder Trophy. Blistering shot got through the feet of Kelly Hrudey.
Ryan Trottier will take this face-off against Gilbert Perreault. The puck came loose. Sabres pounce on it, getting it back to Housley. A shot through a screen was tipped wide. Luce checked by Goring, who's out along with Trottier and Gillies. Poffin on defense has gotten the puck to Trottier, comes over the line. Trottier in front to Poffin, who couldn't handle it. Now Goring and Hamel go to the boards together. There's Gillies and Height as well. It's tied up by Bill Height, and play is called. Well, we'd like to send our best wishes along. We'll do that in a moment as we get a break in the action here. Their score, the Islanders 1, the Sabres 0.
Of the best-selling motor oils today, 14 now save gas. But only one saves gas. Offers cold weather starting down to 35 degrees below zero. And the best engine protection under extreme heat. In fact, the best engine protection you can give your car. Only one. Mobile One.
Face off to the left of the Buffalo goal. We're going to send our best wishes to Tom Giandria. Tom's the supervisor of security, chief of security, actually, at the Nassau Coliseum. He's over at Hempstead General Hospital, recuperating. You're missed around the Coliseum, Tom. Look for a quick recovery. And you just saw Sauve recover quickly and stop Greg Gilbert, point-blank range. Here's McCourt in for checking. Puck comes back of the net, grab, and we'll get a face-off as Kelly Hrudey just knocked that catching glove back along the mesh and held on.
Right from the face-off at the other end of the ice, Greg Gilbert gets a nice opportunity right in front of Sauve. Look at Sauve, got a piece of it with his catching mitt, fired it away. Greg Gilbert moved quickly. The players will set that up, the center iceman, and in this case, the left winger, Greg Gilbert. As soon as the puck is dropped, centerman wants to tip it right in front of the net. Gilbert moved in, took a quick shot. Sauve made the save.
Now the Islanders start out. Trottier leading the rush over center ice. Sends Gillies in on right wing. On the backhand, his shot went wide. Trottier on the left wing boards. Fires one around. It'll be held in at the blue line by Regier to Goring. Goring to Gillies, and that was broken up by Housley. Goring recovers the puck. Walks in on the right side. Shoots. He scores! Butch Goring.
Goring takes advantage. Housley is very good offensively, but defensively he has not learned yet. Housley handed the puck. That's him, number 6. Goring, the experienced veteran, takes it away from the young Phil Housley and puts it in the lower left-hand corner. And the Islanders take advantage of a mistake by the Buffalo Sabres. There's Butch Goring. He quickly took it away from Housley, walked right in, a low shot inside the goalpost, and Goring, with his second goal of the season, gives the Islanders a 2-0 lead.
The goal comes at 11:50 of the second period. Islanders back in that Buffalo zone. Forechecking is Dwayne Sutter. The puck dug out of the corner by Weimer. He has dumped it down into the Islanders zone. That is Goring's third goal of the year. We watch Langevin around to the right side for Dwayne Sutter. Tipped it loose for McEwen. Now to Gilbert. Greg Gilbert on left wing. Goes to the right side. His pass out of the reach of Dwayne Sutter. Brent bumps into Andrechuk. And here is Larry Playfair coming out of his own territory. Playfair, good pass to Chris Langevin, and he drilled it wide. McKenna with a blast off the right point that was blocked, and Greg Gilbert forces Buffalo to cover up at center. Playfair's pass went off Dwayne Sutter, and now a shot around the boards into the Islanders zone by Chris Langevin. David Langevin for the New York Islanders gave it to McEwen up the right side to Dwayne Sutter. Trying to send Brent across the line. That didn't work. Here's Greg Gilbert with the puck, and his shot went wide. Dwayne Sutter goes in after it. Ridden into the boards by Playfair. Andrechuk picks it up and starts out on the right side. Andrechuk to McKenna. Shot one from outside the blue line, handled by Kelly Hrudey, and there's Gord Lane. Gord Lane to Stefan Persson. Persson cuts to the left over the Buffalo line, coming in on goal. Got around the defenseman. Couldn't center the puck at the last second. Bourne holds it in at the right point. His pass was cut off, brought out by Verta. To Rick Sealing, overskated it at center ice. Picks it up again and then is flattened by Trotier's check. Lane to Persson to Bourne. Across to Gord Lane. Now to Persson. It's been Persson and Goring with the 2 goals. The Islanders up 2-0. Trottier snuck in neatly around Mike Ramsey. Centers to Bourne. It was cut off by Verta. Loose puck and cleared by Perreault. Perreault to Mike Ramsey. Just over 6 minutes to play in the second period as the Sabres move it up left wing for Sealing. Sealing working on Persson is forced to shoot it around the boards. Gordy Lane is back. Lane to Trottier. Greg Ramsey ran into Brian Trottier. Trottier trying to sneak up along the boards. He and Sealing in a battle for it. It comes back to Verta, knocked away from him by Bourne, who dove to the deck to make the play. Mike Ramsey put it right on Persson's stick. Stefan Persson dumps it in. Team's in the middle of player changes. Sauve went to play it around the boards. Just did get it away from Tonelli, and there's Cloutier to Perreault. Perreault trying to come down the right wing. One of the great stick handlers in the game. Perreault across the line, moves in, shoots, and the goaltender, Kelly Hrudey, just got a piece of it. Nystrom has dumped it off the boards, and the Sabres go back. This is Paul Cyr. Pass came right back to Cyr over the Islander line. Cyr trying to cut in, ran into Potvan's check, and here's Tonelli breaking out. Cuts to the right wing. Nystrom moves down the left side. Tonelli into the Buffalo zone, lost the puck. Nystrom cleared it to the corner. He and McCourt chase it. McCourt takes a hit from Nystrom. Merrick, good checking there. Got it away from Housley. Here's Nystrom to Tonelli. Shoots, and it ended up behind the net. Comes up the left wing boards. Potvin can't get a stick on it. He's in a race for it with Cloutier, and over comes Darcy Regier. Regier takes control back of the net. Waits for his teammates. Plays it up left wing for Tonelli. Tonelli tried to go rink wide to Merrick. That didn't work. We watched Bill Height trying to get something going for the Sabres, and that failed to click. This is Nystrom to Tonelli. Over his stick, Randy Moeller out for Buffalo. Let it go for Phil Housley. Housley taken to the boards by Potvan's hit. There's Bob Nystrom. Nystrom to Regier. Regier off the boards out to Greg Gilbert. Now to Wayne Merrick. Merrick a long shot steered aside by Sauve. Bill Housley plays a long pass up the left side. Andrechuk drills one from center ice on target and handled by Hrudey to Langevin. Dave Langevin to Greg Gilbert. Cleared it but not out. Andrechuk from the blue line. The pass on the stick of Cloutier. He's chased to the corner by Gilbert and then hit by Langevin. Here's McEwen for the Islanders, feeding it to Gillies. Gillies across to Gilbert. He and Goring come over center ice. 2 men back. Greg Gilbert takes a look, fed it to Dave Langevin. Winds up, shoots. Good stop by Sauve, and the puck ends up in the corner. McEwen lifts it high in the air. Comes out on this right side, and now play is called. A hand pass, or a high stick rather, will constitute the whistle. A break in the action with our score. The Islanders 2, the Sabres nothing.
If you've been getting by with your old car because you couldn't swing the payments on a new one, you ought to get a goodbye loan from the Bank of New York at a guaranteed fixed annual rate. Then you can say hello to a nice new car and...
Goodbye, old clunker.
...to your old one. The Goodbye Auto Loan, only from the Bank of New York. Guaranteed fixed rate for new cars and current model used cars, 13.5%.
2-0 Islanders. The second goal, Butch Goring's third of the year, from Darcy Regier and Brian Trottier, scored at 11:50.
Islanders skating much better, Jags. The reason they're getting the opportunities. Sauve has had to be sharp here in the later stages of the second period.
There's McEwen with a drive. Sauve a stick save. Brent Sutter got it around to Dwayne Sutter to the point for Langevin. Across to McEwen, who let it go quickly, but it was wide. Bourne unable to put it out in front of the net. Langevin pinches in off the left point. And Playfair for Buffalo will try the left wing for his Sabres, and that didn't work. McEwen dumped one in front that went bouncing off Brent Sutter, and Sauve out to clear it ahead on right wing. Moeller takes a hard hit from Langevin. Here's Andrechuk over the line with Cloutier, who takes the pass. He shoots, missed the goal. Comes up the left wing for Bourne. Bob Bourne unable to clear it. Playfair centers. Kluche, or Amel rather, couldn't handle it. And it's cleared back to the left point. Playfair lets one go. Tipped right on, and Kelly Hrudey makes a dazzling save off Moeller. Amel puts it out in front. Moeller is hit by McEwen. Wayne Sutter sends Brent out of his own zone. Brent Sutter over center ice. He's knocked down at the Buffalo line. The Sabres start back. Andrechuk leading the rush, comes over the blue line, cutting right in on goal. He shoots, he scores. What a move by Andrechuk.
Pretty play for Buffalo and Dave Andrechuk. Not so pretty on the side of the New York Islanders. Let's take another look at this move by Dave Andrechuk. 20 years old. Look at that for stick handling. He goes in, gets his head up, goes to the backhand. Waited long enough to get Hrudey to commit himself and then dumped it into the top of the net. There he goes around Mike McEwen. Beat several Islanders in the same move, and there's his backhand flip, the kind of play everybody dreams about doing and executing in the National Hockey League. And Dave Andrechuk, 6'3", 195 pounds, 20 years old, from Hamilton, has made it 2-1 now. Buffalo's first goal of the game.
The Sabres dump it right back in again. Kelly Hrudey out of the net, worked it off the glass to Lane. Gord Lane to Persson, to Clark Gillies. Gillies checked in his own territory. Persson goes the other way with a pass to Lane. Gord Lane carries it into the center ice area. Dumped it in wide of Bob Sauvé. Gillies chasing it. Sealing beat him to it. He came loose on left wing for Craig Ramsey of Buffalo. Handed it right to Kaller. It's still in the Buffalo zone, not brought out by Verda to Sealing. Sealing over the line. Dropped it back for Perreault. Mishandled it. Mike Ramsey picks it up at center ice. Gave it to Verda. To Perreault. Perreault looks for a man. Fed it through in the left wing to Verda. Verda dumps it wide of Kelly Hrudey. There's Ramsey trying to center. Lane got a piece of him. Perreault with the puck. Perreault fires one high. Chased by Craig Ramsey. Ramsey to McKenna. Back along the boards to Height at the left point. Height lets one go through a screen, and it was blocked. Perreault can't get there as Hrudey knocked it away from him. Perreault tied up momentarily by Persson. Trottier puts a hit on Craig Ramsey. Trottier picks up the puck, fed it neatly to Kaller. Anders Kaller at center ice. Went to the left side to Trottier. Less than a minute to play in the second period. Islanders 2, Buffalo 1. Gord Lane has just iced the puck. And we'll get a face-off deep in the Islanders zone. A break in the action here with the score. New York Islanders 2, the Buffalo Sabres 1.
Hi, I'm Steve Wynn, and down here in Atlantic City, New Jersey, in the Golden Nugget Hotel, we have a great place called the Garden Court.
Cut. No, Steve. You look like you're flying. This is not an airplane. Just stay right in there, okay? That's a good boy. Right. It's really a fabulous hotel, but the kid needs a lot more work.
The kid needs a lot more work?
Play underway in the Islanders zone. Wayne Merrick was sent flying. The puck is sent up into the seats, and the face-off will be outside the blue line.
Dave Andrechuk, he can not only score goals, he can hit. As he took Wayne Merrick out. Good body check. There's Merrick. Merrick in a tough spot, reaching for the puck. Andrechuk caught him. His weight all over on the right foot as Andrechuk moved in, laid the shoulder into the middle of Merrick's chest, knocking him down.
Now 36 seconds remaining in the period. Housley over the line. Potvin slowed him up, checked him, turned him around, and Tonelli picks up the puck. Tonelli overled Merrick, who was coming down the right wing. Here's Bill Height. Height's pass intercepted and cleared back by Tonelli. Housley had it momentarily, picks it up again, and stripped of the puck by Wayne Merrick. Merrick moves in, he shoots, and that hit Height and went wide. Housley around the boards for Chris Langevin. Nystrom gave him a hit. Langevin picked it up again. The young Buffalo Sabre fed it out to McKenna. Comes over the line. Potvin takes McKenna. Regier takes the puck. And that will do it for the second period. The teams exchanged goals. The Islanders had built a 2-0 lead before Andrechuk scored late in the period. And after two, the score, the New York Islanders 2, the Buffalo Sabres 1. We'll be back with a recap following these messages.
Michelob Light for the winners this time, huh?
Oh, you enjoy being buried in the sand.
Would good friends really play this hard for a beer? Well, it is Michelob Light, the rich, smooth taste you can compare to any beer you like.
Michelob Lights for the winner.
Ah, the sea, the sun, the sand.
The check.
The check.
The name Buick has always stood for automobiles that are well above the ordinary. Automobiles that are engineered for a quiet, smooth ride, designed for comfort and convenience, and built to make you feel good about your car as long as you own it. Maybe that's why, in the last 7 years, over 5 million discriminating people have chosen Buicks. And we're expecting another very good year. Think about it.
Would you really rather have a Buick?
John Houseman for the investment firm of Smith Barney.
Being born with a silver spoon in one's mouth is not enough. How quickly it can tarnish in today's topsy-turvy economy. When it comes to growth and the preservation of capital, many prudent investors look to Smith Barney. Smith Barney. They make money the old-fashioned way. They earn it.
After 2 periods here at the Memorial Auditorium, the New York Islanders continue to lead the Sabres by 1 goal. It is now the Islanders 2 and Buffalo 1. The shots on goal in the second period by the Islanders 13, by the Sabres 10. 2 period totals favoring Buffalo, 23 shots to the Islanders 21. Butch Goring scored from Darcy Regier and Brian Trottier at the 11:50 mark of the period, giving the Islanders the 2-0 lead. That held until 17:35 when Dave Andrewchuk scored for Buffalo. An 8-play came in one-on-one with Kelly Hrudey. Hrudey had been brilliant in the period. So had Sauvé in the Buffalo goal. The goaltending has really sparkled here tonight.
It has, Jakes, and of course the reason for it, if you look at it in depth, you look at Buffalo's end of the ice, Sauvé has outplayed really anybody on the ice, and the reason for it is the mistakes in his own end of the ice by his defenseman. And I'll tell you, the guy that's the most guilty of mistakes is Housley. Now, Housley's just a youngster at 19. There's no question. He gets a big billing. There's no doubt about his offensive play, and he's a fine puck handler, has a lot of poise, shoots the puck well, but backing up into his own end of the ice, he really gets himself in trouble. And when he has the puck in the corner and trying to get out of there, either with a pass, carrying it, or dumping it out, he just seems to get frustrated and doesn't know what to do. And Butch Goring stole the puck from him, just took it right off his stick and walked in and put it in the net. And the Islanders have had a couple of other opportunities since then, but at the other end, Hrudey has played pretty good for the Islanders. He's been left in there by himself a couple of times. Gilbert Perreault twice got point-blank shots away that Hrudey beat him on.
I would think one of the reasons Scotty Bowman talked Bill Height out of retirement would be the play of the young defenseman. He needs a guy like Height to anchor that defense.
Well, there's no question when you look at the defense and the problems that they have in their own end, and every one of the defensemen tonight, with the exception of their veterans, a guy like Bill Height and Larry Playfair, another one that seemed to try and settle everybody down. But you know, when the player has the puck and he's on the other side of the ice, there really isn't a heck of a lot more you can do if you're his defense partner, other than try and get into a good position so he can return the pass to you, or at least you give him the encouragement of being in the right spot so he has that as an option.
Well, at the end of 2, the Islanders are leading Buffalo 2-1. Mike Foligno will be along to guest with Ed Westfall right after these messages.
Sometimes it's reassuring to know your car will perform well. That's why stunt driver Michelle Slate relies on mobile detergent gasoline. After all, a car with a clean carburetor performs better. It's as simple as that. Mobile detergent gasoline for your everyday driving needs.
I was the first one on our block to own the brand new Nissan Stanza sedan. I love this luxurious, roomy interior and stereo with cassette. Once I drove this front-wheel drive beauty, I bought it. Then Jack drove it and bought one. And Bill drove it and bought one. Now we have 3 Nissan Stanzas on our block. 4.
Come alive, come and drive. Major motion from Nissan.
At your Datsun dealer.
Canon, the official 35mm camera of the 1984 Olympics, asks, how do you cover 3 very different athletes? With Jennifer Chandler, your imagination soars. Cannon's zoom makes a range of shots sharp. Adrian Dantley's face says it all. Cannon's telephoto makes close shots clear. Frank Shorter's endless miles. Cannon's wide angle makes every inch crisp. Put a Cannon on your Cannon.
For everyone in business who has to send or receive packages quickly, now there are 3 things you don't have to do. You don't have to overpay. Now there's an air service that can save you as much as 50%. You don't have to waste time on the phone. This service has automatic daily pickup. And you don't have to worry, because you can depend on UPS Next Day Air. Don't overpay, don't waste time, and don't worry. UPS Next Day Air saves you money from the ground up.
We're back at the Buffalo Auditorium. The Islanders leading the Buffalo Sabres 2-1. And at this time, I'd like to welcome Mike Foligno, the fine winger for the Buffalo Sabres. And Mike, obviously not playing, not happy about not playing. First, you have an ankle injury.
Well, I have an ankle injury that occurred in the Washington Capital game, and this was about a week ago. And we took x-rays the next day and found out I had a chipped bone from a month back. So they just decided to give me a few days off the ice to rest it up, and I think I should be back and ready this coming week.
You put it in such a nice way earlier. He said that it was not a weight-carrying bone, so obviously it's not going to be something that's going to keep you out a long time. Let's get to Mike Foligno. He started out in Detroit and was one of the most exciting rookies we've seen in many years, and looked like you were really enjoying yourself in Detroit. Give me some of the differences between playing with Detroit and here in Buffalo.
Well, I think playing with Detroit, first of all, it was like you said, my rookie years, and you're always, apt to do things with enthusiasm. And as years goes on, sometimes you lose a little bit of that enthusiasm. But I feel like I still have it here, and I think I'm going to have it for a long time. I guess I'm just that type of guy. But the Detroit system, I guess, was the type of system where you could actually play your type of game, go out there and work to the best of your capabilities, and no matter what happened, you never really had a system. Then coming over to Buffalo, where Scotty, he's a tooth and nail type of guy, and he wants everybody to play a different type of style, a defensive style, and it's a style that works, and it's a style that I'm getting accustomed to now. And my goal.
My first question then would be, before you go any further, okay, not to interrupt you, do you like it?
I do. I'm getting used to it. I don't like the part where I don't get as many goals, but that's going to come. I think that this year, as soon as I get back, I can get back to starting to play my style.
Talking about the goals and that end of the production, you obviously don't get the opportunities to score the goals. Now, does that make a difference to a guy like Mike Foligno and his contract?
I guess it would. There's quite a difference between a 50-goal scorer and a 20-goal scorer. It's about $250,000. So I'm just, I'm happy with what my contract. I'm very happy with it, and we just negotiated last year, and I think that he knows what I'm capable of doing, and I know what I'm capable of doing, and all I have to do is go out there show some initiative and just play the best, of my capabilities.
I'm Ed Westfall. I'm talking with Mike Foligno, a very exciting hockey player. And Mike, what I'd like to know too is that when you play in a Buffalo Auditorium with the ability to skate like you can skate, doesn't it seem a little cramped in this kind of a building? It's much smaller than, say, the Detroit arena, the Joe Louis Arena.
It is. When I played in Detroit, it seemed like you had that extra second or two to make a play, to go to the outside of a defenseman, whereas this rink here, which is a little smaller, it's comparable to the Boston Gardens. And those are tough rinks to play in for teams that have only played, or their home ice is a large one. And that's where I found the difference last year, is coming here to play my first full season. I had to get used to the smaller ice surface. My timing had to change and everything else.
Seems like a lot of chaos here in Buffalo. Not so much chaos, maybe that's the wrong word, Mike. Maybe there's a lot of changes. Every year the team seems to make more changes than anybody else. Is that disturbing to a guy like you who'd like to really settle in on a line and get familiar with the teammates and really get something going for yourself?
Well, I think what he's trying to do right now is get a lot of the young players going. I think it is a little hard for the older guys, especially the guys that are accustomed to playing on a line, knowing their line mates year after year, but we're getting used to it, and I think it works when you have an injury. Your line mate gets injured, all of a sudden someone else has to fill in, you get used to that player early in the season, then you don't have any excuses during the season. So I think that's what Scotty's trying to do. He's trying to take all the excuses away from us.
Let's get to the Islanders for a moment, Mike, a team that you have had pretty good success against over the years. Give me some of the things that a player like yourself looks at the Islanders before a game, and what is it that goes through Mike Foligno's mind knowing he's going to play the Islanders?
Well, I think the motivational factor is there. First of all, you're playing against a team that is a championship team, and you automatically motivate yourself just because of that aspect. So going into the game, as far as motivational wise, you don't have to work hard at that. All you have to do is realize the danger, the dangerous guys out there like Potvin on the point. If you're a right winger, you got to keep your eye on him all the time. He's the type of guy that sneaks in on the plays and the give and go, and he puts the puck in the net or is there for a helper. Guys like Mike Bossy, you got to watch them. Traches, and then there's all those other guys that in between that you always have to keep your eye on. In other words, what I'm trying to tell you is you got to be out there and have to have your best game.
How about now, Mike, when you know that throughout the league, early in the season, like last year, the Islanders didn't have that great a season, and so far this season they haven't really got off to a good start. Does that affect the way a player would approach an Islander team, or do they disregard that?
Well, no, you have to look at that. You have to realize that getting on top of the Islanders early, some of them might drop off a little bit early in the game, and I think that when you can get that jump early in the first period, say a 2-goal lead or a 3-goal lead, and keep the pressure on them, they might have a tendency to just slack off and not give it their best at times. But we found out different in the past, and it's a 60-minute hockey game, and you just have to go out there and really actually play that 60 minutes and hope for the best.
In other words, you don't really rely on the fact that the Buffalo Sabres have had such a great success in the regular season against the Islanders and let that carry it.
Not at all. You always have to work hard no matter what game you're in, and especially against a team like the Islanders.
All right, now what do we look for from the standpoint of the Buffalo Sabres going into a third period? They're down by 1 goal and getting tremendous goaltending, I would have to say, in my eyes, out of Sauve. Where does Buffalo have to change if they're going to win this game?
I think we're going to have to take some pressure off of Bobby Sauve. He's made some really key saves for us, like you said. We're going to have to try to keep the puck into the Islander end a little longer. It seems like when we're making our rushes, they're getting the puck right out again, and we're just going to have to try to hold some kind of an attack and make things happen in their end.
Mike, thanks for coming by. I know it's not easy to get down here where we are, and I appreciate it, and we'll look forward to seeing Mike Foligno, the exciting winger, back in action very soon.
Thank you, Ed.
We'll be back at the Buffalo Auditorium in a few moments.
If you've been putting off those home repairs or driving a car that drives you nuts, you should get a goodbye loan from the Bank of New York. We've got home improvement loans and loans for new and used cars, all at guaranteed fixed rates. So say goodbye.
Goodbye, old clunker.
To just getting by with a guaranteed fixed rate goodbye loan. Only from the Bank of New York. Call Action Phone and apply for yours now.
Now we're really lost.
But didn't you get the directions?
I'll go see if that farmhouse we just passed has a telephone.
In a world where anything can go wrong, it's nice to know there's one thing you can depend on to help make it go right.
Excuse me, sir. Do you have a telephone?
Sure do.
Oh, swell. I think we're a little lost.
Sorry, sir. No honeymoon suite.
No honeymoon suite?
But we made reservations.
Didn't we? There's got to be a honeymoon suite somewhere.
Telephones?
Didn't
I thought you told Rudy to pick us up? There's a phone. Rudy, guess who?
I thought you took care of the snow
tires. I'll go see if that farmhouse back there has a...
Excuse me, may I use your phone?
Sure. If only everything worked as well as the telephone.
You know, I got a feeling I've been here before.
New York Telephone. For nearly a century, answering New York's call.
When my designs are late, buyers don't give us a second chance. Emery's International Service goes door to door, fast.
Call Emery. We've earned the trust of American business.
Mike Foligno will receive the original members-only strap collar racing jacket. It's today's most exciting, most wanted jacket. Members only. When you put it on, something happens. Available at fine stores everywhere. New York Islanders 2, the Buffalo Sabres 1. Remind you again that you can be part of a group taking in New York Islander action at the Nassau Coliseum. If you'd like to bring your group to a game, First thing tomorrow, call area code 516-794-4100 and ask for the group sales office.
Out of town scores, Jiggs. Philadelphia and the Rangers are deadlocked at 2 apiece. We know that Doug Crossman had scored for Philadelphia. That's all we have on the scoring in that game. Quebec leading Washington at the end of the second period 2-1. Mike Gartner has scored for Washington. And as I mentioned, the Philadelphia score, Maloney and Pierre LaRouche have scored the goals for the Rangers. Crossman has one for Philadelphia. That's end of the second period. Calgary is trailing Edmonton 1-0. That hasn't changed. First period score, Dave Lumley for Edmonton.
Well, they opened that brand new building in Calgary last night. Spent $98 million on the Saddle Dome.
Did you lend it to them?
Are you kidding? In that province.
Is that in Canadian? Or?
It sure is. They don't have to borrow a dime in that province, they tell me. It's all oil money. Government money, too, I guess, to a degree. But they have their Saddle Dome open. And the evening was spoiled by the Edmonton Oilers, who defeated Calgary 4-3. Next, New York Islander hockey coming up on WOR-TV will be Friday, November 11th. The Islanders at Pittsburgh gets the action at 8:30. Then on Wednesday, November 23rd, the Islanders and the Flyers from the Spectrum, also an 8:30 start. Sunday, December 4th, the Islanders will be in Edmonton for an 8 o'clock face-off. The Sabres just now returning to the ice. Now we send along our birthday wishes to Kenny Morrow, who will be turning 1 year older tomorrow, 27. Missing the action because of fluid buildup on both knees. Probably be out for the better part of next week.
In the list of things that I didn't know, along with Ken Morrow's birthday, Jigs, how about Mike Foligno? What a well-spoken, good-looking young fella. And you know that his uncle is Eddie Jockman?
Uncle-in-law now, I guess, huh?
Huh?
He's married to Eddie Jockman's niece?
Brother's, yeah, his niece. Brother's daughter.
He was telling me his father-in-law has the same nickname, Jiggs Jockman.
How about that?
I'd heard of Jiggs, the bartending chimp, but there's William Scott Bowman moving in behind the Buffalo bench. You know the way college students can be. You've had a couple there before, saving money any way they can. Well, Bob saved the price of an anniversary card by asking us to wish a 23rd wedding anniversary best wishes to his mom and dad, Mr. and Mrs. Leonard Silberman of Wantagh. Bob's a college student up here. The guys at Buffalo State Tower, 5th floor, put up the big banner welcoming WOR over on the far side of the ice from our broadcast area. You may have seen it from time to time. As we get ready for the third period, Wayne Merrick is at center ice. Bob Nystrom on the right side, John Tonelli on the left with Potvin and Regier on defense. Islanders up 2-1 as the Sabres have just cleared it down into the New York Islanders zone, and Hrudey leaves it for Potvin. Now back to Darcy Regier. Out it goes to Merrick. On and off his stick. He recovers and flips it in over the Buffalo blue line. Weimer around to the right wing for Muller. Muller's pass was tipped. Perreault nudges it in over the Islander line, and that's cleared out by Darcy Regier. Weimer had to wait for his teammates to get back and took a hit from Nystrom. Here's Tonelli with the puck. Comes over the line, working on Playfair, and he shot it wide. Hamel for Buffalo to Perreault up the right side. Muller into the Islanders zone, chased wide by Potvin. From behind the net, Muller's pass intercepted by Nystrom. Now Perreault took it away from him, but there's Merrick. Buffalo with 3 men in forechecking. The Islanders try to come out on the left side. Tonelli is tied up, now gets away from Hamel. Turns as Muller moved over on him. Tonelli to Persson. Stefan Persson, who had the opening goal of this game, gives it to Nystrom. Now back to Langevin. To Persson. Came bouncing off his skates and into Chris Langevin. David Langevin on top of him. Greg Gilbert trying to pry it off the boards. It sprung loose. The Sabres get control of it. Andrechuk is knocked off the puck, and there's Nystrom. Nystrom to Greg Gilbert. Gilbert trying to get away from Mike Ramsey. Played it into the Buffalo zone. That's Anu Verta back on their defense. Gave it to Mike Ramsey. We've played 1.5 minutes of the final period. Verta into center ice. Verta slaps one off the boards. Kelly Hrudey goes back of the net to cut it off for Stefan Persson. Persson takes a look, gives it to Gillies. Gillies played it to the line, not out. Mike Ramsey's shot fluttered wide. And it's picked up and cleared by Dave Langevin. Up left wing, that's Gilbert. Rink wide to Clark Gillies. Trying to work in around Mike Ramsey. Lost his balance. Centered the puck. It went up in the air. There's Greg Gilbert with it. Gilbert knocked down. Gave it to Trottier. Turned around but couldn't get a shot away. And the Sabres have moved it to center ice. Denny Potvin to Clark Gillies. Now to Trottier. Trottier right side to Bourne. Couldn't get around Craig Ramsey. The veteran winger for Buffalo waits at center ice, then fires it in wide of Kelly Hrudey. Potvin rounds the net, comes out in front, tries the right wing with a pass that missed Wayne Sutter. Bill Height for the Sabres forces the Islanders to go back. Regier out to Bourne. Bourne fed it ahead, missed Brent Sutter, who's moving into center ice. Here's Craig Ramsey. Picks it up again, gave it to Playfair. Brent Sutter into forecheck. Playfair just fired it to center ice. Denny Potvin tries a long shot off Sauve's stick. Bill Height to Craig Ramsey, relayed it neatly. Peterson overled Sealing, who was moving down right wing. Potvin takes care of Sealing. Bob Bourne lost control of the puck. There's a penalty call coming. Peterson out to Craig Ramsey, hit by Brent Sutter. And as Bourne picks it up, play is called, and the Islanders will be shorthanded. A holding penalty coming up. A break in the action. The score, the Islanders 2, the Sabres 1.
The Buick Century makes very generous use of the latest technology to offer a front-wheel drive automobile that's beautiful and aerodynamic, smooth and quiet. And the Century also utilizes a sophisticated computer system to monitor many functions. But what really makes the Century a Buick is that it not only comes with a computer, it's also available with an impressive amount of software. Very impressive.
Would you really rather have a Buick?
Dennis Potvin waved to the penalty box. You can see why. The puck is right there. Potvin has a grip, a lock on Ramsey, and he goes off. A 2-minute holding penalty. An untimely penalty. 16:53 remaining here in the third period. Islanders ahead 2-1.
The power play for the Sabres is their fourth chance of the night. Killing it off. Trottier and Goring up front, and they've cleared it outside the blue line. Persson and Langevin on defense. We watch Perreault come over the blue line. Perreault handling the puck as he cut to the left side. Gets turned around, recovers. Played it to the side of the net. That's Andrechuk. Left it in the corner. Persson takes a swing at it. Andrechuk picks it up. Played it wide of Perreault. That's Cloutier on the far side. Langevin knocks it away from him. Housley at the right point. Into Cloutier. Back to Housley. A shot went off Greg Gilbert. Cloutier clears the puck to Sear. Sear to Housley. Housley in deep. Centers. A backhander by Perreault has tied it up.
Costly penalty to the Islanders. Dennis Potvin, as the Buffalo Sabres did not allow the Islanders to once get it out of their own end of the ice. Some fine passing. There's Housley as he moved in, went to the backhand, spotted Perreault to the right of Kelly Hrudey, and with a quick pass, Gilbert Perreault does what he does best, scores goals, and he gets the tying goal. A backhand pass to the backhand shot. Gilbert Perreault ties the score at 2 apiece. Something for the fans here to cheer about, as the fine puck handling of the Buffalo Sabres ends up in a power play goal, with Perreault putting in a backhander, his 4th goal of the young NHL season.
So we're right where we started. Brand new hockey game. The Islanders had led by 2. The Sabres have battled back that power play goal at 3:46. Here's Potvin from back of the net. Knocked off balance, managed to get the puck to Gillies, pokes it over to the far side. Kaller relays it to Trottier, who comes over the line, but it was checked. Potvin waits out at center ice. Denny Potvin dumps one off the boards. Bob Sauve out of the net, poked it away from Clark Gillies. Gilles Lamel is checked in his own zone. The puck comes up the boards. Peterson tied up by Trottier, Gillies and Lane there as well, and there's no further play. There's a break in the action. 15:42 left in regulation time. The score tied. The Islanders 2, the Sabres 2.
Michelob Light for the winners this time, huh?
Oh, you enjoy being buried in the sand.
Michelob Light for the winners.
Would good friends really play this hard for a beer? Well, it is Michelob Light, the rich, smooth taste you can compare to any beer you like.
Michelob Light for the winners.
Ah, the sea, the sun, the sand.
Check.
to check.
Fans come alive here in the Buffalo Auditorium. 2-2 now. Take a look at the solemn Islander bench.
The scoring on that Buffalo goal, Perreault's fourth of the year from Housley and Sear at 3:46. Long shot by McEwen, steered aside by Bob Sauvé. So the Sabres have paddled back here to get it all even. The puck stolen by Tonelli, trying to come in. Perreault steered him wide. Tonelli holds on to it. Centered for Merrick, and it was broken up by Craig Ramsey. Ramsey into the Islander zone. Put it right on Tonelli's stick. John Tonelli's pass out of the reach of Nystrom. It's loose in the Buffalo end of the ice, and the result is a penalty, or at least a whistle for an icing.
Pretty good speed, Jigs, by the, in today's standard, considered old Craig Ramsey. He's 32 years old, number 10. As he broke away, intercepted a pass, got out through center ice. He did not have a breakaway by any means. He goes back with Buffalo to 1971, when he was the second pick. Gilbert Perreault, the captain, number 11 as you see him, was the first pick ever back in 1970 by the Buffalo Sabres. 8 times he has had 30 goals or more in his 13 years.
And what a stretch of consecutive games Craig Ramsey had strung together at one point in his Buffalo career.
1974-75 season to the 1981-82 season, he never missed a hockey game.
Now Gillies has shot the puck into the Buffalo zone. Bob Sauvé plays it up the left side. Held in by Regier. Centered one in front that was cleared, and the Islanders have to chase it. Way out of the net comes Kelly Hrudey, leaving it for Potvin. Potvin up the middle to Trottier, relayed it to Gillies, across just out of the reach of Greg Gilbert. Verda plays it ahead to Peterson. Peterson on right wing. Managed to get it to Moeller, who missed a mill with the pass. Here's Regier. Darcy puts it on the stick of Greg Gilbert. Slapped one from outside the line that was on target. Gilbert in after his own rebound, but it's cleared and goes over the glass into the crowd. Still 14 minutes and 25 seconds left in this third period. Be a shame for Buffalo fans if this game were to end in a tie and go to overtime, because according to their press guide, they're no longer broadcasting or televising games that end in a tie at the end of regulation. Their fans are asked to send a self-addressed stamped envelope to who won to get the score of any game that goes to overtime. Now, you know it's a joke, but it's a cute idea.
It draws the attention, doesn't it?
Sure does. See, they've got our pictures in their Buffalo press guide this year, too.
No question about it. I can tell which one is which, too. Stan Oliver and Laurel Hardy.
Chris Langevin breaks out for the Sabres. To the Islander line, and on the far side, that's Sean McKenna to Andreychuk, and his teammate, Chris Langevin, had fallen in the corner. The Islanders come over center ice. Brent Sutter at the Buffalo line, and it knocked off his stick, and there's Andreychuk. The pass up right wing, picked up by Chris Langevin. Lane chases him to the corner. They try to freeze it. And do. They'll get a face-off in the circle to the left.
Gord Lane seeing lots of action. Islanders hurting on defense. Gives Gord Lane the opportunity to do his thing. Done it pretty good, too. I'd give him a passing mark.
He led the team in the plus-minus area, but that took a bit of a beating last night.
One goal, I think, really spoiled his night. That was Tim Kerr when he walked around Gordy Lane on the right point, went walking in quickly and put it in over top of Billy Smith. Pretty goal by Kerr. One of the few times in the hockey game that Gord Lane did not do his thing.
Now Lane up the left side for Bourne to Brent Sutter. Dwayne Sutter comes down the right wing as Brent fired it in wide of the net. Dwayne Sutter goes to the right wing board. Centered. There's Brent Sutter, but he couldn't get a shot away. Dwayne Sutter paid the price after making that pass, 18, and now the puck goes up into the seats.
They both did, Jigs. Both the Sutter brothers took a hammering.
And a portion of the glass has broken. The area that you see referee Bruce Hood inspecting right now, along with the two linesmen. So we're going to get a break in the action here at Buffalo. The score is tied. The Islanders 2 and the Sabres 2.
Come the year 2020, your home may need repainting, repapering, and repairing. But you won't have to recaulk Not if right now you try new GE Silicone 2. A caulk so advanced it'll stick practically everywhere and stay flexible for 50 years, right through the year 2020. New GE Silicone 2.
$1.50 rebate at U.S. General. Offer valid till 11/30/83.
Well, a chunk came out of the protective glass behind the Buffalo goal. You see the Sabres skating around at their end of the ice. The Islanders doing the same down at their end. We'll have a delay here for a few moments till they either replace it or patch it up somehow.
Gives Leon Stickle a chance to talk with some of the fans. He just left that particular spot where the glass is a big chunk right out of it. Some of the glass is the type that shatters, comes down in a million little pieces. This glass, quite obviously, is not that style. It just one big piece kind of floated right out of it.
Rather unusual. Bruce Hood still inspecting it, as you see. Bruce has been...
He'll know what to do. He's been through this before.
Yeah, this is nothing new for him. He's been hurting the last little while. He's been wearing a neck brace, but seems to be okay tonight.
Age will do that.
Oh, really? 58 degrees in Buffalo, in case you're concerned about that. Yeah, Kelly Hrudey, as we look at him in the Islander net, is a story in itself. The Islanders carrying 3 goaltenders. He's making his first start in the National Hockey League tonight and had shut out the Buffalo Sabres until 17:35 of the second period.
Makes you wonder, Jiggs, what goes through the mind of Roland Melanson and, of course, Billy Smith. Smith not here in Buffalo. He was left at home. Roland Melanson, the backup goaltender, who probably thought, and rightfully so, that he would get the nod for tonight's game. But the coach, Al Arbor, and general manager Bill Torrey decided otherwise, which, of course, is their option.
Next week's schedule, much the same as this past week. That is a game Tuesday, nothing till Saturday, and again Sunday.
Gives you a lot of chance there, Jiggs, to get work done around the house, I'm sure. Get the lawn cut and the
probably
flowers
more
planted.
opportunity than I really deserve. Anyway, there are some other things coming up this week involving the New York Islanders. For instance, President, General Manager Bill Torrey will be inducted into the Long Island Hall of Fame on Friday. Speaking of Hall of Fame and awards, that type of thing, the assistant coach of the Buffalo Sabres, Red Berenson, is going to be inducted into, I guess they call it a Hall of Honor at the University of Michigan. That's coming up on Friday as well, where the Redhead starred for many years. Set a school record for goals and points as the captain of Michigan back in 61, 62. Nice to see him inducted into their Hall of Honor. And as well, Bill Torrey into the Long Island Hall of Fame. Guess you're going to get a chance to roast him at that, huh?
I'm going to get a chance to which?
To roast Mr. Torrey? Get even?
I understand that we're not supposed to do that. I understand that it's a fairly serious event, but knowing you and I and with the person we have to work on, smile, that's easy to do. Well, I see who got your tickets.
Wrong again.
Now, where are they?
We're not supposed... Well, they're down here to our left, 18.
They're here in the building?
Yeah.
I thought maybe Scotty Bowman then was going to introduce a new line or something.
We're not supposed to roast the boss, huh? Well, that's disappointing.
Now, getting back to Bill Torrey, I understand it's supposed to be a serious affair, but somehow it really can't stay in that tone. Not if you and I get a chance to level a few remarks.
We check out the work going on the protective glass. It has just about been completed. They put the strut back in there now, and we'll get this game underway, still with 13 minutes and 34 seconds to play and a 2-2 tie. The New York Rangers and the Philadelphia Flyers are tied 3-3 at our last report from Madison Square Garden. Toronto has a 2-0 lead over the New Jersey Devils. The Nordiques have taken a 3-1 lead over the Capitals, who are off to a terrible start. Washington has not won yet.
David Poile, general manager of Washington, has to be watching very closely the way some of his players are playing.
We came into tonight's action in the National Hockey League with only 2 undefeated teams, Philadelphia and Edmonton. Detroit still looking for a victory. They and Los Angeles played to a 3-3 tie on the West Coast last night. Somebody else still looking for a win, isn't there? Yeah, Washington. Well, we've
Los Angeles, of course, has not won a game. They've lost 4. They've tied 2. Interesting, the goals against, the for and against, of course. Defensive style players often look at that as a mark. Look at the Islanders. How often would you see them after playing 5 games? They've scored 24 coming into tonight's game, and they've given up 25, which is unusual. And Buffalo, Mike Foligno related to the fact that Scotty Bowman likes to have a strong defensive team, and the Buffalo Sabres have scored 19 goals coming into tonight's game, and they've given up 23. You see some of the things that are happening to the strong defensive teams. Boston, of course, could be almost put in that category. They're a little more close to normal. They've scored 25 and had 13 goals against as they lead the Adams division. Quebec right behind them, 7 points. Boston, of course, with 8. And Buffalo with 5, Hartford with 5, and Montreal with 4. In Patrick division, Philadelphia 10, and the Rangers, of course, 10. They're playing off tonight. See who's going to have sole possession of first place. Islanders with 6. New Jersey and Pittsburgh with 2 apiece, and of course Washington with none.
And we're underway again here in the third period. We watch Verda start out for the Sabres. Played it to Perreault, comes over the line on right wing. Potvin got a piece of him. Spilling Perreault, and there's Trottier with the puck. Around to Denny Potvin. Potvin up the right side out of the reach of Gillies, and that will go the length of the ice, resulting in a whistle. Those of you around the country who perhaps unable to keep up with the happenings with the New York Islanders this past week, Michael Bossy was injured in a game at the Coliseum against Los Angeles on Tuesday night. A pulled muscle in his hip, and he has missed last night's game and here tonight. Ken Morrow out with fluid on his knees. He's expected to miss approximately a week.
Our guest, Billy Carroll, has not started to skate. Doesn't know when he will. More than just a groin injury. That's what it was first reported as. Seems to be much more serious than just a groin.
And of course, a couple of Swedish players, Thomas Jansson and Mats Helene, out with injuries. Both are skating again. We're not certain when they'll get back into the Islander lineup. Craig Ramsey into the Islander zone, walked in around Potvin, trying to cut off the wing, put one out in front. Trottier slowed him up with a hit. Peterson back to the blue line. Mike Ramsey shot through a screen. That one bouncing off the pads of Hrudey, went way up in the air, and there's Potvin with the puck. Up the left side, Bourne got it to Trottier, back to Bourne. Stick handles to the blue line, then it was knocked off his stick, and Perreault has given it to Mike Ramsey. Ramsey plays it up right wing. Potvin and Perreault go to the boards together. Denny Potvin nudged it ahead to Anders Kaller, who fires it wide. Gillies races in off right wing. Sauve out of the net. Oh, and he played it just out of the reach of Trottier, who was coming in with an empty net facing him. Potvin dumps it back to the Buffalo line. It's picked up by Mike Ramsey. Into the Islander zone. Played it to the corner, and McEwen gives chase. McEwen around to Kaller. It's knocked away from him. Long shot sails wide of Kelly Hrudey, on and off the mesh at the back of the net, and cleared out of there by Merrick, and that's going over the glass. Just over 12 minutes to play in the final period.
Anxious moments, the Buffalo fans showing their displeasure as Gord Lane tangles up one of the Buffalo forwards in the crease. Shot came in. Good shot from the point by Ramsey. Deflected off Hrudey up into the seats. We talked about McCourt. Dale McCourt is on the ice to take the face-off. That's his brother. Going to drop the puck, the linesman, Danny McCourt.
I think we've mentioned before that there is a referee in the Westfall household at one time.
Oh, yeah. Brother Stan. Many years amateur referee and linesman in Ontario Hockey Association.
Now Nystrom for the Islanders, trying to come out, lost it. There's McCourt with a shot that bounced off Dave Langevin. Housley fires one, skipped wide, comes out in front, and McEwen and the goaltender Hrudey cover up. McEwen trying to golf it out of there. Kelly Hrudey putting the catching glove on top of it.
Looked ironic for a minute. As the puck came off the backboards, it bounced and bobbled right out in front of the net. There's McEwen as he blocked it. Hrudey puts his hand on it. McEwen shoots once, then he tried it again. He kept trying to dislodge it to shoot it away from the front of the net. Kind of a natural reaction to get it out of there, but Kelly Hrudey had a firm grasp on it, was not about to let go.
Buffalo out shooting the New York Islanders 25-23.
See Wayne Merrick talking to his wingers, telling him, watch out, they might try to dump that puck from the face-off again in front of the net.
Merrick's not going to get a chance in the face-off as Dan McCourt waved him out of there. So Brent Sutter will take the face-off. Turned his man around. The puck came back. Playfair shot right on. Grabbed by Hrudey, and he'll hold it. Kelly Hrudey slaps his stick on the ice. Talks to himself a little, but he came up right on the top of that goal crease. He positions himself well, 18.
Oh, yes. Looks very cool. Very calm. Very quick with his feet and his hands. And has good positional presence around the goal.
Now Brent Sutter on this right side. Checked in his own zone by Chris Langevin. Merrick cleared it, not out. Long shot. Ended up in the corner. And out to center ice come the Islanders. Merrick in over the Buffalo line. And around Waymer, went to the corner, but Waymer picked up the puck after Playfair and checked Wayne Merrick. Into center ice comes Waymer. Across the blue line. Shot it wide of Hrudey. Hrudey up the boards for Tonelli, who missed it. Sculpted right back in again and taken this time by McEwen. Chased by Chris Langevin. Buffalo putting on some pressure here. Langevin and McEwen in the corner. Chris Langevin and Buffalo trying to move it around the boards. There's Playfair in off the blue line. It's going to be cleared by Langevin to Nystrom. The fans felt that the Islanders had taken too many liberties with the hometown Sabres. Tonelli stole the puck at his own line. It was knocked off his stick, and Langevin for the Islanders comes back to help out. Hit hard by Andreychuk. Nystrom breaks out. Bob Nystrom to the Buffalo line. Nystrom trying to cut in around Mike Ramsey is knocked down. And Uverta over to McKenna. Potvin comes in off the left point. Got the puck to Nystrom. Put it out in front. Verta was there. Verta to McKenna. Relays it to Perreault. Now to Craig Ramsey. Ramsey into the center ice area. The pass to Perreault was intercepted by Goring. Now to Nystrom. Nystrom on left wing. Went to center one out of the reach of Greg Gilbert. This is Rick Sealing. Rick Sealing had it blocked by Nystrom, but he never did regain control of it. So the Sabres move it into center with half the third period gone. We're tied 2-2. This is Mike Ramsey carrying it deeper into his own zone. The result is a whistle, and offside was being delayed. We get a break in the action. Our score is tied. The Islanders 2, the Sabres 2.
Here's what people are saying about it.
I want one.
The sporty Nissan Pulsar NX.
I really want one.
5-speed stick, front-wheel drive, and performance you call major motion. The Pulsar NX.
I got one.
Come alive, come and drive. Major motion from Nissan.
At your Datsun dealer.
Wally Weir has scored. Quebec leads Washington 3-1 in the third. Walt Podubny and Stuart Gavin have scored. Toronto leads New Jersey 2-0 in the second. Chicago 1. Kurt Fraser has scored. The one-time Vancouver Canuck in the first period. They lead Minnesota 1-0. Rangers have just shot ahead 4-3. We know McLeish has scored for Philadelphia and Pierre LaRouche for the Rangers.
Buffalo back into the Islanders' zone. Height shot is grabbed by Hrudey. Regier backing in. The puck came up, and Kelly Hrudey, very quick with that catching glove, snagged it.
Seemed to hesitate, Jiggs. He thought the puck was coming much harder than it was. He reached up, went to catch it. It wasn't there yet. So you could see his hand. Watch his left hand. He seems to make a quick, jerky move. There it is. Boom, boom. That's because it was coming in on a changeup rather than a fastball that he was expecting.
Yes, I think Regier fooled him a little bit, too, reaching for it. He wasn't sure. Maybe he lost sight of it for a brief second. Calgary comes calling on Tuesday night. The Islanders at home. And next Saturday night, the New York Rangers. 2-2 tie here in Buffalo. Paul Cyr with a shot that missed the target. Sealing unable to center it. Brent Sutter moves it off the boards. And Bob Bourne banked one off the glass that ends up inside the Buffalo territory. Waymer played it up the right wing. Sealing and Bourne tumbled to the ice. Playfair and Brent Sutter freeze it on the boards. We'll get a face-off again.
Neither team trying to give anything to the other side. Close checking. Take a look. There's number 20, Brent Peterson, 24-year-old. He's from Calgary, Alberta. Detroit's second pick back in 1978. He was part of the McCourt-Foligno deal that saw Schoenfeld, Danny Gare, Derek Smith all go to Detroit. He came here along with McCourt and Foligno.
Now Playfair behind the goal. Dwayne Sutter knocked it away from him, but Andrechuk recovered. Up the left side for Chris Langevin. Over the Islander line, works on Persson and elected to shoot it around the boards. Dave Langevin for the Islanders to Dwayne Sutter. Sutter up left wing to Bourne, gets into the Buffalo zone, is checked, and Playfair clears it outside the blue line. There's Dave Langevin. Andrechuk gives him a bump. Dwayne Sutter coming back has picked up the puck. Brent Sutter flips it off the boards, and Waymer has to go back for Buffalo. We have 8.5 minutes remaining in the third period. Jakes McDonald and Ed Westfall here at the Memorial Auditorium in Buffalo as we watch Persson. He lost the puck. Hamel picks it up. Hamel fired it wide of Hrudey. He's out of the net to play it to Kaller. Anders Kaller got a stick on it. McKenna picks it up. Plays it to the opposite wing. This is Andrechuk. Put it right on Persson's stick, and Stefan has cleared it down into the Buffalo zone. It's going right to Sauvé. Now Verda with it. Shot it out to center ice. Poffin to Kaller, who was coming back on the play. Moeller lost it. Ends up inside the Buffalo blue line. This is Verda giving it to Mike Ramsey. Ramsey, who was on that 80 Olympic championship team, to Perreault. Tried to set up Ramsey, who was stuck in around the defense. And that play was cut off. Here is Kaller. Can't get back into the Buffalo zone. Hamel handling the puck on left wing. Over to Mike Ramsey up the right side. Verda gave it to Perreault. Perreault picks it up again from Moeller. Can't get the shot away, and there's Poffin to Trottier. Trottier down right wing, cuts to the left at the Buffalo line, makes the play to Kaller in front to Poffin. Moeller knocked him off the puck, and Perreault starts up. Gilbert Perreault fires it wide of Kelly Hrudey. Moeller breaks in. Hrudey parked right up on top of the goal crease again, makes a dazzling stop. The Sabres played the boards to perfection.
Gilbert Perreault. Gilbert knows where to play it off the boards. He played it perfectly. A break in the action with the score tied. Sabres 2, Islanders 2. We'll be right back.
Michelob Light for the winners this time, huh?
Oh, you enjoy being buried in the sand.
Would good friends really play this hard for a beer? Well, it is Michelob Light, the rich, smooth taste you can compare to any beer you like.
Michelob Light for the winners.
Ah, the sea, the sun, the sand.
The check.
The check.
It was Mike Moeller that went steaming in after Gilbert Perreault bounced it off the end glass. He walked in all alone on Kelly Hrudey. Hrudey beat him.
Now from the face-off, the Islanders with Bourne, Merrick, and Nystrom. Wayne Merrick handling the puck at center ice, shot it wide of Bob Sauvé. It'll be picked up by Housley. Housley up the left side to Craig Ramsey, out to center ice to Peterson. Peterson pulling to the right side, trying to get in around Langevin. He likes to play the boards. There's Nystrom that came loose. The Sabres regain control. Height off the left point, fires one that's deflected wide of Hrudey. John Tonelli tries the right side with a pass to Nystrom. Held in at the blue line. Rick Sealing is hit hard by Wayne Merrick's check, and it's shot back in offside.
Constant pressure by Buffalo, Jigs, the kind of pressure that'll pay off in goals. There's Rick Sealing, number 60. There's a heavy hit. Sealing handled it well. He was Buffalo's first pick back in 1977. Elmira, Ontario. Rick Sealing.
And Housley on the right side. Blasts one. That went wide. Sealing chasing it back of the net. McEwen comes up with the puck. Across to Nystrom on the right. He shot it in wide. Ends up in the corner. Housley missed it, then recovered, and Merrick was right on top of him. Rick Sealing flipped it ahead. Dale McCourt, who doesn't get a whole lot of ice time, dropped it back. Craig Ramsey gave it to Height, then across to Housley. 6 minutes remaining in the third period. Tied 2-2. McKenna Works on Langevin as he tried to cut in. He elected to go back of the net. Comes out on the near side, centered, and the shot was blocked by Merrick as Langevin cruised in for Buffalo. Here comes Nystrom. Nystrom blasts one that's grabbed by Sauvé. Picked up by Playfair. After they'd come back to tie it, Buffalo has had the territorial edge in this hockey game. McKenna from the blue line, knocked down by Hrudey, loose puck and cleared by Persson. Brian Trottier pried it off the boards. McCourt put it out in front. Chris Langevin couldn't get a stick on it. Weimer from the blue line, that's knocked down. Persson flipped it ahead, it hit Langevin, now goes to Lane. Gord Lane being chased by Dale McCourt. Lane. Well, Chris Langevin got a piece of him. Gillies feeds it out to Gilbert on left wing. Gilbert to Gillies, comes over the Buffalo line. Shooting, that's off the target. Sabres trying to come out on the left wing side. Moeller carries the puck. Moeller cutting to the right. Lane poked it off his stick, picked it up for the New York Islanders, then ran headfirst into Playfair. This is Moeller. Moeller for the pass ahead. It's relayed. Across at Perreault, but deflected by Gillies. Perreault kicks it back to Weimer at the Buffalo line. Now 4.5 minutes left in the third period. Here's a bell into the Islanders zone. Perreault headed for the net. The pass didn't arrive. Brian Trottier comes out on the far side, getting away from the check. Trottier into center ice. Takes a shot that's deflected off his stick and ends up back of the Buffalo net. We'll take a break in the action here. The score remains the New York Islanders 2 and the Buffalo Sabres 2.
If you've been getting by with your old car because you couldn't swing the payments on a new one, you ought to get a goodbye loan from the Bank of New York at a guaranteed fixed annual rate. Then you can say hello to a nice new car and...
Goodbye, old clunker.
To your old one. The Goodbye Auto Loan, only from the Bank of New York. Guaranteed fixed rate for new cars and current model used cars, 13.5%.
The face-off is just outside the Buffalo blue line. 4 minutes and 22 seconds left on the clock, as you saw, and the score is even. It's been Persson and Goring for the Islanders, Andrechuk and Perreault for Buffalo. Perreault's goal at 3:46 of this third period put us into this 2-2 tie. Buffan at his own blue line. He and Rogier on defense. Dwayne Sutter, Brent Sutter, and Bob Bourne, the forwards. A long shot, Sauvé, the save. Got it to Mike Ramsey up the right wing. This is Rick Sealing leading the rush. As Sear on the left side, Andrechuk trailing. The pass didn't arrive, and then the Sabres were offside when they made contact with it.
Puck never got across the blue line. The pass moved right across on the blue line, and that's creating the offside. Another player that hasn't played a great deal in this third period in particular is Housley, going along with Playfair and Weimer, Height, and Mike Ramsey.
And Scotty Bowman seems to be using Riel Cloutier only on the power
play only, yeah. He's only had one other shift that I can remember other than a power play situation.
Weimer has dumped the puck into the Islanders zone. Potvin with it back of the net. One of those lead passes off Bourne's stick into the Buffalo zone. The Sabres could have touched it, they ruled. The puck comes to Bourne, rounds the net, trying to come out in front. Is bumped a little as he got it to Potvin from the blue line. His shot blocked by Sauvé. The rebound, there's Dwayne Sutter. It's underneath Sauvé. They score! Brent Sutter jabs it away from the goaltender. Sauvé is upset, but the Islanders have taken the lead at 3-2.
So many times you see it. The Islanders under a siege for minutes after minutes, seldom getting the puck out over their own blue line. When they finally do, here's the play. Dwayne Sutter takes a shot. Sauvé makes the save, but the puck is loose underneath them. There's Brent Sutter as he moves in, gets a hold of the puck as he takes a hit from Weimer. He puts the puck into the open net behind the goaltender, Bob Sauvé. There's the shot by Potvin. Here's Dwayne Sutter as he makes the turn, gets the shot away. Sauvé did not get time to get up. There's the puck as it lay loose. Buffalo had time to get it. Andrechuk was back in to help, but he missed the puck as he skated by the goaltender. And Brent Sutter put it in the open net. 3-2 now. The Islanders score with 3 minutes and 37 seconds left in the game.
Dwayne Sutter and Denny Potvin on the assists. So it is 3-2 as the Islanders move back into the Sabres zone. Hamel is nudged to the head into the Islander territory, and that's Dave Langevin firing it around the boards. It came outside the blue line. Housley will pick it up at center ice. Gave it to Height. Height's pass intercepted by Brian Trottier. Now here's Hamel trying to come in. Trottier ran into him, and Kaller has cleared the puck. This is Height on the left side. A shot hit Gillies and ricocheted over to Anders Kaller. Gillies trailing as they come across the line. Now Trottier takes the pass right back to Kaller. Kaller to Gillies in front to Trottier, and he ripped it wide. Moeller back of the goal. Comes up this left side for the Sabres. Pulled away from Trottier's check. Moeller over center ice across the Islander line. Hit hard by Langevin. Perreault was there but couldn't handle the puck. This is Nystrom clearing it out into center ice. 2:35 left in the third period. Bill Housley banks one off the boards. Picked up by Merrick at center ice. Wayne Merrick shot it in wide of Sauvé. John Tonelli goes into forecheck. Housley poked it away from him. Now Height tries the left side with a pass to Craig Ramsey. Across to McCourt. Comes over the line. Gave it to Rick Sealing. He shoots it when bouncing off Potvin and is scooped up by Kelly Hrudey.
Buffalo back knocking on the doorstep of Kelly Hrudey. Not to be. Potvin got a piece of the puck. Hrudey got all of it. Buffalo showing some better skating here in the third period.
You saw Denny Potvin get up slowly, and he's flexing that left hand. He took the glove off just a moment ago, but Sealing shot went ripping off his hand and has stung. Denny Potvin with 6 assists. Mentioned the other night in a home game, he has not scored in 28 regular season games. He got a lot of goals, 8 I think it was during the playoffs, but you go well back into late last season to find the last regular season goal for the captain. That's not a knock, it's just a fact. Regier clears the puck to Trottier.
Like a little like Mike Schmidt trying to hit a baseball. Only that's in the playoffs for him.
And now Regier has dumped it down into the Buffalo zone. We'll get a nicing call here. In case you're out of the country and just got home, Baltimore won the World Series today, and we make reference to the fact that the Phillies didn't really get much of an attack mounted. That's of Mike Schmidt being one that seemed to be put away for the season when it came to the World Series. 1 minute 52 seconds remaining in this third period. The Islanders had led at one point 2-0. Buffalo came back to tie it. It is now 3-2 on Brent Sutter's goal at 16:23. Brent Sutter will take the face-off against Dave Andreychuk. McCourt gets them lined up. McCourt, the linesman, at least. The sticks are not on that dot, or weren't at least, and the puck was dropped. Brent Sutter has it in his skates. Lifted ahead to Dwayne Sutter across to Bourne. Chases it along with Playfair. It ends up behind the Buffalo goal. Up they come on the left side. Andreychuk carries the puck into the Islanders zone. Put on the brakes. Fed it through to the right side. McKenna goes back of the net. Sean McKenna centers the puck. Playfair shot went bouncing off Bourne. Chris Langevin now for Buffalo. Dave Langevin ties him up, and Brent Sutter tried to clear it. It hit his teammate Langevin. Brent Sutter with it again. To the blue line. It pops loose. Wayne Sutter gives it to Persson. Stefan Persson to the Buffalo blue line, dumps it in, and the Islanders go for a player change. We'll keep an eye on Sauvé now. Buffalo trailing by a goal. Playfair just spun away from the check of Trottier. Give it to Waymer. Waymer check. Trottier to Gillies. Clark Gillies unable to set up Gilbert, who raced in off left wing. This is Bowler sending Hamel over center ice. Gilles Hamel fires one off the stick of Potvin and up into the end seats. Well, we have 48 seconds left. And the Buffalo goaltender is still on the ice.
I'm a little surprised, Jakes, down by a goal, and they have their team rushing into the Islanders' end of the ice. I would have thought Sauvé would have been heading for the bench. I was watching Scotty Bowman on the bench. He did not once signal to Sauvé. Sauvé kept signaling with his arm, do you want me to go? Do you want me to go? He's over at the bench now. But at the time, while the play was on, no signal from Scotty Bowman. A timeout has been called. 48 seconds remain here in the third period. The Islanders, on a goal by Brent Sutter, his third of the year, put the Islanders ahead 3-2.
Why don't you tell us about the next games on WOR 18?
Well, Friday, November the 11th, Pittsburgh Penguins at 8:30. Wednesday, November the 23rd, Philadelphia Flyers from the Spectrum. That's also at 8:30. And Sunday, December the 4th, in Edmonton at 8 o'clock. That'll be 5 o'clock Edmonton time. 6 o'clock. Oh, that's right. It's 2 hours. 3 hours in Vancouver and Los Angeles. 2 hours in Edmonton. How could I ever forget?
48 seconds remaining. The Islanders with Brian Trottier, Clark Gillies, and Greg Gilbert as the forwards. We have not seen much, if any, of Butch Goring here in the third period. 18. He is on the bench, but has seen very little ice time. Trottier will take this face-off against Perreault. Potvin and Persson on the points. They're just inside the Islander line as you see them line up. Trottier over to ask Dan McCourt something. Now lines up again. Gillies got a piece of Vanderchuk before the puck was dropped. Berta held it in. Got it to Sear. A shot kicked out by Kelly Hrudey. Here's Berta with one that went ripping wide of the net. Sabres trying to center. Potvin was there as it was centered by Amel. 30 seconds left. Trottier over center ice with an empty net. Shoots and missed the target. Potvin and the rebound. Put it out in front. There's Trottier. He turns a couple of times. Potvin shot went bouncing off. And Alberta. Clark Gillies goes to the corner boards. Kicked it loose to Trottier. Centers one. Gillies can't get there in time. 15 seconds left. Here's Trottier. Couldn't get the puck to Gillies, and Housley feeds it up the right side with 10 seconds left. Luce coming in on the right side, dropped it to Housley, and his shot went wide. Luce trying to center. Potvin fires at the length of the ice. The horn beats him. The shot went wide anyway. But the Islanders have themselves a 3-2 victory. Only their third win in the last 14 visits to the auditorium here in Buffalo. The New York Islanders rebound from a 5-1 setback last night to defeat Buffalo 3-2. We'll be back with a recap and our Budweiser Star of the Game selection right after these messages.
Nissan trucks are. Can this $59.99 Nissan haul 1,400 pounds?
Yep.
In a double-wall steel bed?
Yep.
With the most powerful standard engine in its class?
Yep.
Anyone else give you all this for a sticker price of $59.99?
Nope.
Only Nissan.
Come alive, come and drive. Nature motion from Nissan.
At your Datsun dealer.
The only difference between these 84 Corvettes is the gasoline they're using. This one accelerates faster with Amoco Premium Lead-Free. It's the highest octane lead-free you can buy, and the same high-performance gasoline that helps solve engine problems like knock and run-on in your car. You expect more from Amoco, and premium performance is one way you get it.
Dennis James here with big news about Bond's incredible 2 for sale, featuring Fashion Park, Eagle, Hardy Ames, Giorgio San Angelo, John York, and other famous brands at 2 for prices. Select any suit or overcoat, choose another from Bond's entire stock, and get a special 2 for price. Like John York suits, 2 for $179, or a famous brand suit and an all-wool overcoat, 2 for $249, or an all-wool Eagle suit and a cashmere blend overcoat, 2 for $329. That's Bond's 2 for sale. It's sensational.
The final scores, the New York Islanders 3 and the Buffalo Sabres 2. Shots on goal in the third period by Buffalo 10, by the Islanders 7. The game totals, the Sabres with 33 shots on Kelly Hrudey, the Islanders with 28 shots on Bob Sauvé. It was 2-1 Islanders going to the third period. Potvin took a holding penalty at 3:07, and Buffalo scored the power play goal to tie it. Perreault with his 4th of the year from Housley and Sear at 3:46. But at 16:23, the Islanders took the lead, a lead that they never relinquished. Brent Sutter getting his 3rd of the season from Dwayne Sutter and Potvin to win the game at 16:23. And Buffalo put on a lot of pressure, especially that third period, 18.
Good third period for Buffalo. Unfortunately, they couldn't get the puck in the net. Time and again, though, the pressure by Buffalo was turned aside by the goaltender, Kelly Hrudey. The Islanders looked a little disorganized at times. The Buffalo Sabres in the conditioning part of the game seemed to get stronger as the game went on. The Islanders, of course, struggling in their own end of the ice, took a couple of penalties, one of them very costly, but they managed to overcome it. And again, we look at that fact of the Islanders finding a way to win. The good teams do that on occasion, and here again tonight, they avoided an overtime, possibly a loss. They were down one in the third period, but the goal by Brent Sutter, an alert play, really. It was the first time the Islanders had broke out of their own end. They made it count.
We didn't point out, we did mention that Mike Bossy was missing, but the Islanders playing one forward short of the limit that they may dress, or one player overall. And as a result, several people got an awful lot of ice time.
Well, they did, Jakes. And in a game like tonight's game, it was kind of a tough one on the conditioning. And the players that aren't in good shape, it showed up because that grinding along the boards and in front of the net, that wrestling and holding on that we saw a lot of, it takes a lot out of a player.
So the Islander record now goes to 4-2, and our Budweiser star of the game selection is yours.
Yes, and I'll make that with Kelly Hrudey. I thought that in the hockey game several times, Perreault twice early in the hockey game, Hamel in the third period, and several other players that he stopped. And I thought Kelly Hrudey played a very good game for himself, so he's our Budweiser star of the game, and this Bud's for you.
Nice to be a winner in his first start at the National Hockey League. So once again, the final score is the New York Islanders 3 and the Buffalo Sabres 2. New York Islanders hockey has been brought to you by Michelob Light, an exceptional light beer with a rich, smooth taste.